Hello, Alycats and new viewers. So today I'm covering part 2 of my September 2017 favorites. If you're new to the channel and don't know what favorites are, that's where I cover all of the movies, TV shows, video games, etc. that I loved over the month. I was split into 2 parts because I have way too many favorites for any one human being to have, but I still somehow manage it. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to talk about the movies I love this month, and if you'd like to see the movies that I don't mention, or read my written reviews for the movies that I write, I'll have my blog posted down below in the description box, along with my Letterboxd link where you can follow me, see what I rate movies beforehand, and see what movies I watch every day. So without further ado, let's get on to the favorite movies. First up is A Dark Song. This movie I went into with trepidation because this is one of those horror movies that you're either going to love or hate. It is a very slow burning movie, but I just was so enthralled with A Dark Song. This film follows a mother, played by Catherine Walker, who has lost her young son, and she really wants to talk to him even though he's dead, so she hires an occultist to help her set up this ritual. But this ritual takes a humongous toll on both her and the occultist, played by Steve Oram, and it's just such a beautiful, tense, claustrophobic film, and it is very slow, and it's not very scary, so some people will not like this movie at all. But I personally really enjoyed the atmospheric buildup of tension. I enjoyed the claustrophobic feel of the film, and I thought the performances were really good. I thought the effects work was good for the budget of the film, and I just think it was a really good directorial debut from Liam Gavin. So I highly recommend A Dark Song if you like more arty, more tension-filled, slow-burning horror films. Now the next movie you're going to want to kick me for not having seen it sooner, but that is the original Night of the Living Dead. This film is phenomenal. I had never seen a George Romero film before, but this film was so good. Even in black and white, it's just so fantastic. I loved his take on zombies. I liked how diverse the cast was. The acting was really good, and I just really enjoyed the movie. It was just wonderful, and why haven't I seen this sooner? The next movie up is Tower. This is a documentary about the sniper who, in August of 1966, went to the top of the tower at the University of Austin, Texas, and shot a lot of people, and about how the police were trying to take him down. And this film is really interesting because they use actors and rotoscoping technology to animate the film and to recreate the events of what happened. It's a very emotional film. The actors do a good job of portraying these real-life people, and they do show the actual victims during the film. And it's just really informative, and it's really heartbreaking, but also really inspiring at the same time, seeing how people band together and help each other out. And it's just very well done. Next up is The Big Sick. I didn't expect to love this movie as much as I did because I heard it was a comedy, but it's a darker comedy because this is based on the true story of Kumail Nanjiani and his wife Emily Gordon. In the movie, Kumail plays himself, Kumail, and he is an aspiring stand-up comedian. And one day he meets this woman named Emily Gardner, played by Zoe Kazan, and he falls in love with her. But the problem is his parents want him to marry a traditional Pakistani Muslim wife. But then one day Emily becomes sick and is put into a medically induced coma, and he has to decide whether he wants to stay with Emily because he loves her, or follow his parents' desires for him to have a traditional Pakistani wife. This is a really heartwarming film. It's really inspirational knowing that this was mostly true, and the performances were really good. I really love seeing Bo Burnham in this film because I adore Bo Burnham, and I thought all the performances were great, and I ended up loving this film way more than I thought I would. Next up is a film that I swore I hated for the longest time, but I finally rewatched it and ended up loving it, and that is Iron Man. I used to hate Iron Man, and he's still not one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, but I really appreciated this movie the second time around. I loved the origin story. I loved how Tony Stark became Iron Man, and yeah, I was wrong, okay? Next up is Sophie's Choice. I'd heard so much about this movie, but never knew what it was about, and after watching it, I was just emotionally wrecked. This film has phenomenal performances by Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline, and it's just such a moving story. I really want to read the book that it's based off of. and it was more than I expected. It was so hard-hitting, and it was just so well done. I also really loved The Dead Zone. If you didn't know that this film was directed by David Cronenberg, you wouldn't know this was a David Cronenberg film, because this is so different from what he usually makes. This is based off a Stephen King novel and stars Christopher Walken as a man who, after getting in a car accident, is in a coma for 5 years, but when he wakes up, he realizes he has psychic abilities, so when he touches someone, he can see their past, their present, or their future, and it's just a really interesting film. I thought Christopher Walken gave a great performance. I love David Cronenberg's direction of the film, and I thought it was a really interesting concept. Next up is Geralds Game, which I actually did a review for this film, so that will be linked up here and in the description box down below, but I really enjoyed it, obviously, because it's in my favorites. And lastly for the films is Greenberg. This is a Noah Baumbach film, and stars Ben Stiller, and this is one of the best performances I've seen from Ben Stiller. It's about a man named Greenberg, played by Ben Stiller, who moves from New York to LA to watch over his brother's house and to try to find himself, and he ends up striking up a friendship with his brother's nanny, played by Greta Gerwig, and it's just, you know, a typical Noah Baumbach film, but it's also a slice of life film. It's funny, it's got some sad moments, and it's just a wonderful just look into human life. And again, Ben Stiller is fantastic in this film, as is Greta Gerwig, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Brie Larson, Dave Franco, Juno Temple. There are so many amazing actors and actresses in this film, and I feel like this is one of Noah Baumbach's most underrated films. Now for TV, I finally caught up with the second season of Legends of Tomorrow, and oh my gosh, the season is so much better than the first season. It's so much fun. I adored that there's an episode dedicated to George Lucas. I love that they had references to Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien. I love the performances. I especially love the fact that Katie Lotz's character, Sarah Lance, has an expanded role. I really loved how they delved into friendship and the bonds of family in this season. And I just loved Legion of Doom. Oh my gosh, those villains. Oh, so good! I love this show. Way better than the first season. And the other show I really enjoyed this month has been This Is Us. Again, this is a phenomenal show. It tugs at all your heartstrings. It makes you feel all the feels, and it's just so well done. Everyone is on the top of their game acting-wise. The storylines are perfection. If you haven't watched This Is Us yet, do it now. And lastly, the video game I've been obsessed with has been Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a fantastic RPG. It's so beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. The story is fascinating. The missions, whether the main quest or the side missions, they're all interesting. I have never felt like I've been doing busy work yet. I love taking down the machines because they're not just simple enemies you take down. You have to strategically target certain parts of their bodies to take them down. And I just love the setting, how it's a futuristic setting, but it also has a prehistoric feel to it. It's a really good game. I highly recommend playing it if you have a PS4. And all the music I loved the past few weeks is in the description box down below. And that is it for my favorites for the second half of September of 2017. Let me know what your favorites have been in the comment box down below. And if you like the video, make sure to like it. If you're not subscribed yet, but you like what you see and heard, hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll always be alerted every time I upload a new video or start a new live stream. And if you'd like to follow me on social media sites, those are all listed down below in the description box. And also, if you like the video, make sure to share it because it helps my channel grow. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. You're always my favorites. Peace and kisses. Bye. What do you mean Frank Randall is better than Jamie Fraser? You are out of your mind! I'm so sorry you had to hear that argument, guys. But to make up for that fact, my face will be floating over here in the near future. You can click that face and it'll send you to my channel if you aren't already. And if you'd like to see my previous upload, you'll find that up here, and a playlist of videos that you can watch over and over on repeat over here. And yeah, I need to go back to the invisible person I was talking to and debate why Jamie Fraser is better than Frank Randall.